Gentlemen, welcome back. You're back with MGTOW Money. Today's topic is going to be your greatest single asset. This is an asset that hopefully all of you possess that is certainly more valuable than just mere money. Before we get to that though, in case you're new here, this of course is MGTOW Money. This is the only MGTOW channel dedicated to your wealth, how you can get rich, how you can make more money and maybe even retire early. Let's move on to today's topic. Before I reveal the asset that I'm talking about, let me give you a brief anecdote from my own past. It was a few decades ago that I was literally laying on my kitchen floor in my small apartment, and I was writhing in pain. I was in extreme pain. What had happened was I had been working out at the gym a couple of days prior, and frankly, I was working out with a trainer, and I somehow had hurt my back. And I had ended up pinching, I discovered later on, the sciatic nerve. As you may or may not know, that's a nerve that runs down the back of your leg. In this particular case, it was running down my left leg. It was extraordinary. It was one of the most painful experiences of my life. And not only was it painful during that particular time, it went on for months and months. I think it went on, if I remember correctly, for a good year. I could barely walk. I was in such extreme pain. Now, leaving all that aside, fortunately, I'm in much better shape today. However, my point is the following. When I was laying on that floor in extraordinary pain, something struck me, and it's remained to me to this day, and it's fixed in my mind right now. It's the following. No matter how much money I had, and in that particular time, I had no money. I was flat broke, a negative financial net worth. I mean, I was really in bad financial shape. But I knew at that particular moment, it didn't make any difference about how much money I had. It all had to do with one thing, my health. And I knew that if I could just get healthy again, and frankly, I wasn't sure at the time, but if I could just get healthy again, I could bring myself back. I could come back. I could build again. And that's my point. If you have your health, you can lose everything, but you can still come back. And I know that, and I know that to my bones today. No matter how wealthy you are, if you don't have your health, it's absolutely irrelevant. It's not worth anything. Your health is worth far more than love, friendships, intelligence, whatever. If you've got your health, you can move forward with your life. Now, let me be clear and let me be specific in terms of how we're going to apply this to money, because I'm not some sort of gym rat. I'm not some sort of organic vegetarian food eater. I'm not someone who's going to harp on you about the dangers of smoking, alcohol, drug abuse, etc. I don't care about any of that. But let's just look at this from a purely a money perspective. Number one, if you are starting over, or if for whatever reason that you're just at the beginning of your financial life, if you have your health, you can do it. You can move forward. You can make money. You can build yourself up. You've got to have your health, though. That is a prerequisite to everything. Number two, it goes without saying, in particular in the United States, but this certainly applies worldwide, healthcare costs are skyrocketing. They are completely out of control. If you want to have money, if you want to retire early, if you want to increase your net worth, you've got to protect your health. Just like you're careful with your car, and presumably you regularly change the oil, you do routine maintenance, etc., because you want to prolong your ownership of the car, because you want it to last a long time, you've got to do the same thing with your health. You don't want to become entangled, and I mean that, in the spider web of the medical industry. And it is an industry, and they will leech on you and suck you for all the money that you have. Your goal needs to be to stay out of the doctor's office, to not get involved with the medical industry, to take care of yourself just like you're taking care of your automobile, just like you're taking care of any other material possession. That in of itself will save you money and will help you increase your overall net worth. Number three, besides the typical advice of don't eat processed foods, be careful of sugary foods, be careful of fatty foods, etc., 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 I think a lot of dietary guidelines and even exercise guidelines are extremely individualized. I think it's very difficult to generalize about these things. What works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. However, one thing I do know that applies to probably 80% of us is that, frankly, we're lazy. And we don't like to exercise, and we don't like to be physically active. Man, I can tell you, I can spend 6-8 hours sitting on my couch, reading books, reading the internet, just hanging out, whatever, and time will fly by, and I'll feel fine. However, I know in the long term, that's not a good thing, and that's not a good habit to get into. So here's my point. I highly encourage you, and I'm going to put a link in the description to a book. Look into high-intensity interval training, HIIT, high-intensity interval training. I'm putting a link again in the description to a book called The 1 Minute Workout, but there's lots of other workouts available. There's another one that's very popular called the 7-Minute Workout. The point is that these are ways that you can efficiently, optimally get yourself in reasonably good shape in a reasonable amount of time, a reasonable short amount of time. You don't have to go to the gym if you don't want to. You don't have to spend 3 hours working out 5 days a week if you don't want to. If you do want to, if you have that sort of time, fantastic. Go do it. Be a bodybuilder. Do whatever you want to do. But the point is that doesn't apply to most of us. 80% of us it doesn't apply to. We're lazy. We don't want to do it. And or we don't have the money, spend the money, have the time, etc. So the point is, look at doing things that will optimize your life. High intensity interval training. I've been doing it for several years now, and I can speak from experience. It is fantastic. I highly recommend you do your own research about it. Let me just summarize, gentlemen. Just as you're disciplining yourself, I hope, regarding your interactions with women, you can control your diet, you can control your exercise. You can start by doing small, simple little things. Don't feel like you've got to go cold turkey on everything. You can simply reduce the amount of processed food that you're eating. You can simply eat a little bit less than you did yesterday. You can simply avoid maybe that bowl of ice cream, or just eat a little bit less ice cream, or whatever sort of junk food that you're really into. Small incremental changes, gentlemen. I'm telling you, you don't need to be perfect. You do not need to go cold turkey on this. Just try small changes. Try things like this these small workouts that I'm talking about. They don't require a gym, like I said. You can do them outside. You can do them in your home, your apartment, wherever you might be. My point is, in 10 words or less, you don't need perfection. Try these things, gentlemen. Try to develop small habits. Let those small habits start doing them on a regular basis, and they will compound over the long run, because that's what it's all about. Small habits over a long period of time, and the effect will compound. Just like when you're saving money and you're drawing a certain interest rate, the money will compound. It'll end up extraordinary in terms of the amount of money you'll end up with over a long period of time. As always, I want to thank you for listening. This, of course, is an international MGTOW army of men that are coming together, that are seeking financial independence. And because we're moving this forward, I need your help. I need you to post this video in forums. I need you to share it with friends. I need you to hit the like button if you found it helpful, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. John Galt, out.